Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast. And we're up to the 7th film of the Mission Impossible franchise. We're up to Dead Reckoning from 2023. Now, I'm not going to say part 1 or part 2 because they removed that stuff. So I'm just going to say Dead Reckoning from 2023. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa, and my co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate. I mean, we could go through here and go in circles and get, hey, what did you think when we first saw it? We both saw it in the theater. Let's just get right into these box office numbers. We already know, because we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down, and then we're going to give everyone our thoughts. But with that said, box office-wise, this movie was budgeted at $291 million. $291 for this film. It grossed only $571 million. Domestic was only $172 million, while international was $398 million. Now, like I said, and we did it so far through all these movies, what movies did this movie go up against in July 12th? Well, I'm going to say it right now. Key theatrical releases from July was Insidious: The Red Door, July 7th. Joyride, July 7th. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, July 12th. We got Sound of Freedom, and I remember that movie was really big, July 4th.
Yep.
Yes. Barbie, July 21. Oppenheimer, July 21. Haunted Mansion, July 28th. And then Talk to Me, July 28th. So, Nate, are you shocked with these numbers?
Okay, so there's a lot of factors here. One, box office was still down in general in 2023. Because I know it's post-COVID, but it was still fairly close to, like, movies weren't making a ton outside Top Gun Maverick, which made a lot. And then that summer that you just mentioned, Barbie and Oppenheimer, they kind of set everything on fire. Coming out just 2 weeks before those, or 9 days, as a matter of fact, 9 days before those movies, they took Oppenheimer took all the IMAX screens away from Mission Impossible. Barbie took all the women away from Mission Impossible. Oppenheimer took the guys. I mean, it's unfortunate. I remember us talking about all the way back then, who's in charge of putting these movies out for Paramount, because you couldn't pick a worse release date than that. So I won't say I'm surprised at the box office total, only because of what was going on. I think if this exact same movie, no changes, like same movie, came out in 2019, it makes way more than the number, the 500, whatever, honestly. So yeah, it was, I guess I'm a little surprised. Yeah. But once you say it came out 9 days before Barbenheimer, at that point, those both made like $1 billion. So, like, what are you going to do?
Well, the problem that I have here also, if we look back to Fallout from 2018, that movie made a worldwide of 824.
Right.
On a budget of 178.
Yeah, this did have a way bigger budget.
Yeah, and now my question to you is, I should have looked this up on the research. Was Dead Reckoning and the final film filmed together?
So they were supposed to be shot back to back. They were when they were initially planned. So I did a little research on this because I thought it was interesting. They were supposed to be shot back to back, and then one was going to be released towards the end of 2021, and the other one was going to come out like early in 2022. So they were supposed to be, but COVID. Remember Tom Cruise had that video where he's yelling at that guy, and there was the whole. So COVID really messed this up for Paramount, in the sense of it affected the scheduling. Nicholas Hoult was initially cast as the villain in this movie, had to drop out because of COVID travel restrictions. Angela Bassett was supposed to be in this movie, could not make it. That's why she's just a picture in that one scene on the wall, because COVID travel restrictions. So like, there's a lot of stuff that worked against these movies. So yeah, they were supposed to be filmed. I think ultimately they were not shot back to back. They were filmed separately, because then they came out 2 years apart instead of the initial 8 months apart or whatever.
Yeah, and then they the last movie removed the part 2 of the part 1.
Yeah, they changed the title. It went from Dead Reckoning Part 1 to the Final Reckoning Part Nothing. Yeah. But it is a 2-part story, like when you watch it. So it's very weird. It's tough break. I mean, that's a lot of money, except for the fact that it cost $290 million to make it.
It cost that much. I mean, they did make some money back, but at the end of the day, they did 2 movies back to back, plus marketing, which is an additional $100 million or whatever.
Yeah.
And they didn't do as much. I agree. Me and you always said this for a long time. They should have fired the scheduler for this, hands down. This movie could have waited until November or December of July.
Or come out in March when there's nothing else going on.
Or January action month, bro. I always said it. January.
This came out in February. February has a history of some big movies. Like Black Panther came out in February.
John Wick
came out. Like, you could definitely do early in the year like that and just own it for the first quarter. But no, let's come out near Oppenheimer and Barbie. Let's do that instead.
It's crazy, but remember when John Wick 3 was supposed to go up against the Matrix 4? They were going to release it at the same time, and I know one of them went, oh, no, they're not going to do it against John Wick.
This is probably stupid. Let's not do this.
And they separated them because they kind of knew John Wick was going to win.
John Wick made a lot more money.
It made way more money, yeah. So, anyway, with that said, critics and audience, what did they think of the Dead Reckoning Part 1?
Well, you know what? This is going to be very interesting to you. I already know it. So, I'm going to tell the audience right now. Me and Alex don't really see eye to eye on this movie, I don't think. So I can't wait to review it. But the audience and the critic score, this does have our first critic drop in the last 4 movies. However, it's barely a drop. It's down 2%. It has a 96% critic score. So Fallout had a 98. This took 96. It's almost the same thing. I don't know. It's like two people didn't like it that maybe like the last one. So, but the audience score continues to go up. Fallout had an 89%. This one is up 5% to a 94%. So this has a 96% critics and a 94% audience, making it the highest as far as audience. It did not make the most money. Again, a lot of circumstances, but people liked it. People actually liked it. As far as reviews go, this one is 96 and 94. It's combined. It's I think maybe the highest one out of all.
I mean, it's shocking. I'm shocked because maybe later people are reviewing it and giving their 2 cents, but very shocked.
Or maybe you hate it.
Maybe I'm the 2% on it and I hate it. I mean, look, let's just get into it. All right, because we're up to the final 2 films of this damn franchise. And then we're going to get into some fun solo movie, TV show turns into action movies. So with that said, lead characters, they're all back in this one. So what you got?
They're back, baby, and they're having a good time. Okay, so yes, Ethan Hunt, he's back. Ilsa is back. A new character, Haley Atwell's character. What's her name? Grace, I think, or something like that.
Yes, Grace.
Is that her name? So she's new. She's here. She's like a thief that ends up getting involved in the whole scenario. Also, new characters. They're villains. I'll save them. But anyway, Benji back, Luther back. And you got Henry Czerny coming back. Kittredge all the way from the first movie, back in this movie as well. Look, I think at this point, they reached this point with the 5th movie. And then the 6th, the same. I gave them a 5 there, and I gave this one a 5 as well. There's nothing about these lead characters. I think they reached a level where now, once you get to a 5 for me, you have to be worse. And they're in no way, shape, or form worse than the last movie. Benji, and Luther do the same sort of stuff they always do, which is fine. They're like field agents that they're sidekicks, essentially. Ethan has to make some really interesting choices in this movie. Now you have 2 ladies instead of normally it's 1, right? Now you got Ilsa and you got this new person who he doesn't have the same attachment to, but at the same time, she's not an agent. She's somewhat of an innocent, or she's a civilian, essentially. And so I like the dynamic of adding that as well. Also, I like that the villain has a tie to his past because that affects how Ethan behaves through the movie, right? A lot of times you get these villains, he don't know who they are. They're just some people. This guy has something that ties to his pre-IMF days, and therefore it creates a certain thing, like towards the end with the fight, and Luther literally having to tell him, you freaking don't kill this guy. You're going to want to. Don't do it. All that adds some character to Ethan that's not there. Anytime you could dig up something from the past, I think it adds a little flavor. So I gave him a 5. I don't really have any problem with the leads in this.
First time I drop it, I gave it a 4. I agree. Everything is solid. I think everything is good. I think Ethan Hunt, I think he is seasoned. He's older. Everybody's older in this. You can see them being older. My only gripe is with Ethan that I had to drop a point was that this guy fell in love with Grace's character like mad quick. They don't know each other. And again, I don't want to spoil it for people, but, he picks her over Elsa and Elsa dies. And I'm just like, this is really dumb. Like, I don't get how all of a sudden, like, you're thinking him and Elsa is this perfect couple, which I think they were a perfect couple. And they write her off really quick. And I think that's what annoyed me is the death of Elsa and him, like, in love with Grace's character. Because I'm like, bro, Ethan just met her for like 2 seconds. And all of a sudden he's protecting her, like, for what? She's a thief. That's it. That's all she is. She's just like, and I know you're going to laugh, she's just like the thief in part 2. She just met that girl. He's in love with that girl. He wants to bang that girl, which we already assumed that he did. I feel like it's the same with Amy. The only difference is that now she's hands-on in this story and she's more action sequences than the girl in part 2, the John Woo version. It's kind of the same character. Nothing different. She's a thief. She's a way better thief. She does 20,000 things. But my thing is like, bro, you just came into the picture and already Ethan Hunt is in love with this character. And I don't know.
I didn't get love vibes.
Not even, it. But I'm not saying love, but the loyalty is like 100%. Well, I was like, geez.
I could see that. My only thing is like, he doesn't have to choose Ilsa because she's an agent and she's trained and she can fight. And like this other girl cannot. So like in his mind, he's probably thinking, well, I don't need to help Ilsa as much as I need to help the other one because she'll definitely die. Whereas Ilsa could defend herself and is trained. That's when I watch it, that's what I was thinking. Because I agree with you. At first I was like, you would think he has more of a history with Ilsa, but at the same time, she can hold her own more than the other girl.
I agree. But when throughout the movie, the guy is like, you have to choose one. Regardless of whatever it is. And he says one of them will die.
Yeah.
Why is the loyalty to one and not the other? Knowing that the bad guy already told you that one of these chicks will die. And it's like, I'm going to go with the one that I never met before over the one that, and that's what I'm saying. And even her death sequences, like when she died, there was nothing, no memorial, no nothing, no sad, no nothing. It was just continue on with the mission. Like if she never existed. And I think that's what annoyed me with the movie because they don't handle death sequences of agents very well. I get it. You're an agent. You die. It is what it is. But this is a team. One guy goes down, you're gonna feel it emotional, and that's when Vince Rames was like, "I know you want to kill him, don't kill him." And I'm like, well, at this point, I'm already watching the movie, going, "What? It doesn't even matter, dude." I'm like, he already passed on. Like he's not mad. Like it doesn't even matter. Like emotionally, I didn't feel the characters with the death of Elsa affected them in the movie. While other movies, they would have handled it somewhere, somehow. Like in Ghost Protocol, when they killed that first agent, that chick kicked the girl out the window. That affected her. I didn't get that from Benji. I didn't get that from Vince Raines, yes, because he was the mopey one. I call him Eeyore.
She asks, she's like, did you know her or were you close with her? And he's like talking with her. And so, but they don't have time for a funeral.
But that's what I'm saying. But what I mean is like, they didn't show no emotion. I mean, for a 2 hour and 40-minute movie, at least give us some scene of something. It was just like, I don't know. I just felt like in terms of that aspect, like I just felt very like within the team, I just felt like something was off. And I felt like when they introduced this character, it was like, immediately they wanted to introduce her into the team. Like, it was just like, what the hell? Like, she's just a thief. Like, make it natural. I felt like they killed her off to throw her now into an IMF because that's what annoyed me with it. And I think that with the characters, I felt like, why is Ethan so hung up on this Grace character? Like, I don't get it, like, at all. So they didn't do a great job. And it's just, that's why I gave it a 4. I just felt like this is, like, other movies did it better than what we got here. So I gave it a 4. Okay, so now main villain is Gabriel.
Yeah.
And the entity, which is the AI.
Right. Now in this one, okay, and then you have Paris too. She's introduced, the Asian girl. She's
Paris.
She's working with Gabriel. Yes.
Yeah. And
so she's
Vanessa
like a henchman.
Kirby, right?
No. Vanessa Kirby is the arms dealer.
Yeah.
Paris is the girl Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
The blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like a Bond henchman. Think more like henchman. She's working with him, but she's not like the main villain, but she's there and she fights and she's trying to kill him. Okay, Gabriel, someone from his past. Now, again, this was supposed to be Nicholas Hoult, and the whole storyline was supposed to be different. It had to change because they had to recast the actor, and this guy's older. And so they decided to, oh, you know what? We're going to make it where it's someone from Ethan's past rather than just a brand new villain out of nowhere. You know, I think it works. I think Gabriel, I think he's a good villain. I don't think he is like, I think we've talked about this too. Like throughout this series, I don't think it has the best villains in general. The guy from the Syndicate guy is probably the best one out of the whole franchise. Yeah, he's probably the best one out of the whole franchise. But I think Gabriel's cool. You know, he's formidable. He fights. He kills people. He kills Ilsa. That's important. He fights her. He fights. He kills the train people. He blows up he does a lot of stuff, and he does it himself. He has assistance from the entity, which is an AI, a rogue AI that was created by the U.S. government to sabotage this submarine that can be stealth and nobody could see it. And so they introduce it into this submarine. It goes rogue, and now you have two groups of people who want to control it, people who want to destroy it. And that would be Ethan wants to destroy it. Everyone else trying to get their hands on it. And he has some assistance from it. Paris is a cool henchman. I like that. I'm a fan of when they make a villain have something to do with the hero before the movie that you're watching. So I kind of like, it's a short flashback, but you see he killed a woman who Ethan is familiar with, probably a girlfriend or a love interest, something like that. Because when he does his speech, that a lot of it is based on that. When he's talking with Grace, and he's like, you know, anyone close to this guy, they die. Meanwhile, he's the one who killed her. And I like Paris. I like Vanessa Kirby that she's back and she's kind of shades of gray. I gave it a 4 though. It's not a 5 for me. I gave it a 4. I think they're good villains. They serve the purpose pretty well. And again, Gabriel, by the end of this movie, doesn't even die. He loses the key, but he's still out there and he did a lot of damage.
Okay, I had beef with the villains. I enjoyed Gabriel a little bit. While yes, he did fight. Yes, he did do whatever he did. I don't think you're right. He's not formidable. And I think my problem is we never got a villain that he could go toe to toe or very dominant. Like, and I mean dominant, like when you feel like a president, like Kingpin. You know, when you walk near Kingpin and you go, holy shit, like this dude is big, brolic, and he will beat your ass if you whatever. We never got that. And I thought that's what Gabriel was going to be. Because I'm like, Elsa's whipping his ass. I mean, sure, he's doing whatever hand to hand, but I'm like, he should have been the one just dominant. Like, you ain't going to touch me with whatever sword. And even like when he's in the presence of Ethan or whatever, he should have commanded with the presence. And I didn't get that. I didn't. I felt like a George Clooney. He to me was like a George Clooney villain. Like if you put George Clooney in that role, I would have been like, oh, okay. Typical Ocean's 11 bad guy, which he could hand to hand. But I was like, I think that's my fault because I was thinking of like, man, if I would have did it, I would have had a Kingpin style villain. Like this is the one that's going to rule them all type dude. And I think Solomon Lane was that guy. Solomon Lane, I like because they couldn't fuck with him. He fought 2 agents and whooped ass. Like Benji was hanging on the thing. Elsa couldn't mess with him and he's breaking. Like I'm like, Solomon Lane was the best. You're right, the best. He should have never got caught. This is the movie that they think they could have caught him, but the entity helped them escape. And they're like, damn it, we couldn't do it.
Yeah, he's the best villain in the franchise.
The best villain. But what they should have done was this Gabriel character should have been Bran. Jeremy Renner should have been Gabriel.
Yeah, we talked about that. He should have went rogue.
Yes, I was watching this movie, and this is the opportunity to use Jeremy Renner. When he uses the glasses and he sees him, he goes, he could have been like Bran, and he takes it off and he disappears. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like the audience would be like, what the hell? Is he bad or good? This is it. This is the opportunity to use a rogue agent that was a real rogue. I mean, which was an agent. And then you could figure out what happens when he tells his story when they go toe to toe.
And you see, it works because he has a history with. He doesn't have like pre-IMF history, but they have a history.
Yes, yes, they could have did something.
Still use that.
You could have used it.
I think Brand would have been a way better pick.
Brand, we saw how good he is as a fighter, so he was a analyst. So you already know he knows how to handle data and how to mess and interpretate and mastermind his way through while he could beat someone's ass. That is the character that I believe this should have been in Dead Reckoning. And that's why it should be called Dead Reckoning because of Jeremy Renner's character, Raising Harry. I didn't feel that from Gabriel. I didn't like it with Gabriel. I didn't like the fact that the AI was controlling every possible situation, every trillion nanobytes he was talking about, knowing every possible way to get here and there. I hate AI as villains.
That's the key.
That's the key.
I think it is.
You like it. I know you like it
because it's relevant. Like that is, it's like it's relevant, and so I think it works.
It's very relevant, but I feel like it's just such a weak cop out in writing that you have this whole IMF thing that we all know is run through technology that is going to come in and screw with them, which it did, and I was like, it is what it is. But my problem is that when you have no face to a villain and it has every 1 trillion possible ways that this could end and everything Ethan comes to this one possible scenario, I don't like it. It's so because you're not fighting with it. All you do is put a virus in it, and that's it.
Gabriel's the face of it. That's the point. Is like he is the face of it.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you. He's not he's not that strong villain that could fuck you up with a AI. Like I didn't feel that when I saw him. I was just like,
how I think of it, because I see where you're coming from. I look at it more like if you think of like wrestling, right, where you have these heel characters, like they're bad. They don't always dominate the good guys, but they're sneaky. They cheat. They get out of it. They like the fight on the train. They're fighting. We'll call it a loss, a slight loss, but even if you want to call it a draw, what does he do? Jumps off the train. He's like, I'm out of here. I got it. Ha. And then he didn't get it. But, he's smarmy. He's slimy.
But I think you know what I'm thinking, because you brought up wrestling. I was thinking more of he should have been the cerebral assassin Triple H, whereas he's like dominant.
He's not that.
No, he's not that. Gabriel is nowhere near. Yes, he's Seth Rollins. He's not the cerebral assassin Triple H version where he's beating your ass, and then when you start to beat his ass, he gets out of he'll just, all right, later, I gotta go, or the team comes in and DX comes in and beats
sledgehammer.
Yes, and he'll cheat. Exactly. Like when they're fighting on the train, sure, you could see them, whatever, and the minute he jumps off, he goes, well, you had your chance, and then he goes, woo, and he just jumps off.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that with Gabriel. I didn't feel I didn't feel that nemesis to Ethan. Like, I was just like, man, and that's why I agree with both our take. We should have been Jeremy Ratner's character going against, because that would have hurt so many fans' heart that this guy was so good. He helped Ethan and he turns on the team. And you could have had a scene. I mean, this thing, it was 2 hours and 40 minutes. You could have had a scene him blowing up the fucking Senate with all the guys that voted. It would have been awesome.
It's pretty easy too, because you could make him where he's the villain, but he still thinks he's doing good. Like, I need to keep this out of the hands of these other people, but he would still have the control or whatever.
Yes.
It's not that hard.
Exactly. Like, you could have had a scene that even Ethan knows that he's bad, and he's sitting in the meeting and he can't do nothing because everyone still thinks he's good.
But I think this might have been when Jeremy Renner got run over by that
reindeer.
That snowplow. I don't know if he was acting at the time. He was injured or something.
But I get what you mean.
I agree with the sentiment. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, with that, I gave it a 3. I thought it was a good, but again, I'm not a big AI fan. I'm not a fan of AI.
Okay. Let me clarify this, and then I'll go to my action scenes. I like AI, not always, but I do think it can work. For example, Scream 7, horrible. AI in that, horrible. Hated it. I'm like, this is stupid. In this, or like Terminator, which is AI pretty much, I like it. It can work. So I don't want to put a blanket out there like, I always love AI. No, I don't. But I think it can be useful.
But wasn't one of, I mean, we're going to do it in the action. Trust me, guys, we're going to do it. But wasn't one of the Fast and the Furious was the God's Eye? That it takes the satellites and it searches and it uses you and it pinpoint where it is.
Fate of the Furious.
Yes. So, but they used that actually pretty good. I mean, they ran with it as much as they could. But I think that the way they used the technology, I thought this is what they should have done here in Mission Impossible. I think it would have worked. I think doing the whole, it gives you every scenario possible way here and there. And you can't sell me that. I couldn't. But it is what it is.
There you go. It is what it is. All right, action 5. I'm still out of 5. This movie, I mean, listen, Christopher McQuarrie at this point, he has nailed the scope. And I will say, I think this has actually aged well. I remember when I saw it at the theater, and I liked it. I liked it the first time I saw it as well. But like the whole thing with the stunt, with the motorcycle jumping over the cliff, everyone was like, oh my God, they're showing it behind the scenes, because they kept showing like the behind the scenes stuff at the theater, right? But now that it's 3 years ago, and it's not just like constant, It's actually an amazing stunt. It is a great stunt. It looks awesome. The whole fall after is awesome. I think the train sequence is a great suspenseful action scene with it constantly going over the ledge. That's fun. The car chase scene, that's this one, and we talked about it in Fallout, where that one's a lot more serious, right? They cut a lot of the humor, and this one falls in line with that. But at least that scene added the humor, like the little car, the little Fiat, when they got to get in the Fiat and all that kind of stuff. But it's a great car chase scene with a little humor mixed in. You have hand-to-hand fights in here. I love the desert scene at the beginning. I think that one's a lot of fun with Ilsa sniping people off the horses. And so I don't really have a problem. It's big set pieces, yes. At this point, again, Fallout created this. Fallout and these last two are a trilogy to me because they are all really long and they all created these set pieces that last for like 20 minutes, pretty much. However, they're well done. They're well executed. I thought it was exciting. I liked it. I gave it a 5.
Okay, here we go. Action. I gave it a 5, but I do got some nitpicks. I felt like they was way long, way too long. I think they could have cut a lot of the action sequences down a bit, but I think the quality and and how much you have in the film, I think is amazing. I think it's great. I just think it's way too much of it in this big ass storyline. It just, like I said, I think it's a 2-hour plus movie. 2 hours, and I have it right here. 2 hours and 43 minutes. Yeah. A lot of action. Again, I like the way it looks. I agree with you. The whole jumping off the thing. See, this is the problem that hurts Mission Impossible when it comes to action. And I kind of noticed it after 7 movies. Wow, it's great quality, great chases, great stunts, but then comes the great redundancy because it is the same shit over and over in every movie. And I'm starting to notice it in 7. You get the car chasing, then the motorcycle chasing, then you got the running sequences. And then if not the running sequences, we're going to have some type of storm element that he has to run himself into, which is the desert. He has to run through a desert with sandstorms. And then you have that big, gigantic one-set stunt at the end of the movie to wow the character, the audience. Mind you, while I like it, I love it. I think it's all great hand-to-hand fighting. I think it's all great. Dial it back a bit. Don't blow your wad all in one films. And I think that's what started to happen. And I don't know if it hurt the film in terms of people going, man, this is way too long. Because I remember me and you talked about it. And we talked about it when we came out the theater. And then when we first found the announcements of the film and when we found out the running time, me and you had a conversation and we looked at each other. We went, that shit is going to be long. 2 hours and 40 minutes is a long ass time to sit in a theater. To ask anybody to sit in a theater to watch a movie. And we talked about it. And then when we saw it afterwards, we were like, man, this is long. But we enjoyed it for what you liked it more than I did when we came out. But we were still like, okay, it was enjoyable. But me and your gripe was, it was way too long. Yeah. This one, I felt the same sequence. The action sequences was great. But if you could have just condensed, it would have been a perfect movie. I would have been like, wow, this is great. While it is what it is, action sequence was phenomenal. What hinders it also is the fact that the marketing showed the exact damn stunt scene. So when the scene was coming up of him jumping out, I had no wow factor because I already saw the damn thing with the ramp. So when I saw the stupid rocks and the grass, I was like, we already know there's a ramp. Why the hell? You should have just had it without the effects. You would have saved the money.
Yeah. I agree. I think it hurt it at the time of release. I think subsequent, it doesn't matter as much. Like in 5 years, nobody's going to be like, I saw the ramp. But at the time, I remember being in the theater like, I already know how to do this.
Yes.
I already saw it like 5,000 times.
Yes. When you see Benji going, you got to go up the mountain. And I'm like, I looked at Angelina. I'm like, bro, we literally saw this shit like 80,000 times before the theater came out. I was like, everyone's going to know he's going to throw himself off the thing. I think the marketing was really poor for this movie. I mean, not poor. I just think stunt-wise.
They were trying too hard.
Yes. It was just like they knew they had something with Fallout with the helicopters and him falling 40 feet into the cargo net. And people like, oh my God, he's going to die. But he's not going to die. I totally believe what you just said. They tried so hard to get the people going, he threw himself off a cliff. He parachuted off. And you're like, oh, no, you saved that for the audience. Don't show it. Just leave it him going up the ramp and just cut the damn footage and say, see more, July 12th of 2023 in the theater. And I would have been like, yo, that's a kind of a dope sequence. But anyway, it is what it is. I gave it a 5. You gave it a 5. All right, here we go. Storyline.
Okay. So I think it's good. Not perfect, but good. Very good. I gave it a 4. I like the AI thing though, so it worked for me. And I do kind of like the sort of everyone's trying to get it. You don't know why this person like, for example, Carrie Elwes' character, who's like the Minister of Defense or whatever. I forget what title he is. He's someone important in the Defense Department. He, at the way end of the movie, it's revealed that they created it and that he wants it and he's willing to work with the villain. So he kind of ends up being bad. Then you got Kittredge, who's trying to get it, not for bad, but thinks that the U.S. should be the one who owns the technology and keep it. Then you got Ethan, who wants to destroy it. And then you got Gabriel, who wants to basically free it and like just let it do its thing, blow everybody up. Who cares? So I kind of like all the puzzle pieces. I do think they do a good job of. I was never confused in this movie. It is long. It's a little bloated, which is why I minus the point. But I was never confused. There's reveals, but it's never like, oh, what is that? And who does that guy? And which sometimes these spy movies, that can happen. It did not happen for me. I thought it was well told. I like the twists and turns of the characters. Like one thing that was annoying though, and this is why I minus the other little bit of a point. Grace as a character, while I understand, I don't have the same feelings as you of like the Ethan stuff with her. I don't like her character that much in general because every single time he tries to help her or saves her, she just runs off again with the stupid thing. And it's like, girl, you clearly are in over your head. Clearly, you're not a spy. You're not a whatever. They're trying to kill you. And she keeps not trusting him, even though he keeps showing up to like help her. Characters like that in general always irk me. Where it's like, dude, if you just gave him the thing from the beginning, you could have been out. You literally could have been out on your way. He probably would have actually gave her some money or something, hook her up, like get out of here, go be safe. But no, she got to keep being annoying. So her writing, I minus half a point. And the bloated nature of it, I minus half a point. I gave it a 4. I do think it is a strong storyline and I like it. I have one other gripe. Christopher McQuarrie wrote this movie. How in the world so Vanessa Kirby's character, isn't that her brother, the guy who helps her? That's her brother.
Yes.
Okay. How did her brother not know it wasn't her when she had brown eyes when she's in the disguise? That is a writing flaw, not a directing flaw. So that's why I'm putting it in the writing, not in like the overall. If you showed up, we're not even related. And if you showed up to record here and you had green eyes, I'd be like, what is going on? Why do you have green eyes? So for it to be her brother who has seen her his whole life pretty much, and to be this close and she got brown eyes and not to be like, what's wrong with your eyes? Like, why are they brown? Vanessa Kirby's eyes are the most bluest blue
gorgeous
you've ever seen it. Yeah, you've never seen blue like this. And then this lady comes in with brown and he's like, hey, what's up, sis? You're gonna, so that, you know what? I'll leave it as a 4. It's still a 4. That was annoying though. It's like, how did you not know that was not your sister?
I gave it a 3. I think storyline, look, they had so many stuff against this. I mean, I believe you with the whole COVID situation. If that's just the problems that they had to rewrite, great. But I think they should have threw out the script and did something from scratch. I was not a fan of the villain with the AI. I think this is the best Vanessa Kirby looked in the movie, in the franchise. It's funny, fun fact, I named my daughter after her character in this movie because her name is Alana. So I named her after the White Widow character. But you're right. They kill Elsa pissed me off. It was an hour and 43 minutes in, and I paused it when they killed her, and I went, this is where the movie died for me. Like, she was such a beloved character. For me, I would have went with Benji. Benji was there for the long haul, and he's not really a true fighting agent. So to me, that would have been more yes. I know they try to do the whole love crap with Ethan, but I feel like Benji would have threw everybody off course. Like, oh my God, it would have been him. But they didn't. They went with Elsa. Very weak. I feel like the movie, Nate, I don't know if you agree with me. I know you like a lot of thrillers, a lot of talking thrillers and dramas and stuff. I feel like this movie was way too long in a lot of sequences. The scene that they're talking about the 2 keys in the room where Ethan is undercover and he throws the gas stuff, I thought that was pretty cool, but I totally felt like this was like 30 minutes of unnecessary like MacGuffin talking about we sent Ethan in to get Elsa. She died. And where's the key? He has it. Why didn't you bring him in? We can't find him. Why can you not find him? And it's like, oh my God. And I felt like it was just I felt like it was way too long to be way too long. Like this could have been short. And then prior to that, it was another, whatever his name is, talking to some other guy. And that was a long sequence. Yeah, he's had another 20-minute discussions on this stupid key. Then the beginning of the movie was another 20 minutes on the key with the ghost thing. And I felt like, and I don't know. It's weird because me and you have two different brainwaves sometimes, but did you feel like you were watching Tomorrow Never Dies with 007, Pierce Brosnan? Because it's the same technology where the guy is using the stealth thing and then he shoots the arrows and the thing is not there.
Is Tomorrow Never Dies the news one?
Yes, with the same thing with the stealth boat that he manipulates the courses. No, I know you hate it, but what I mean is...
I never think of it. So the answer is no. I didn't feel like I was watching it because I never think of that movie.
I felt like the beginning felt like him changing the course of the Japanese and the United States attacked them for the wrong. And they were really... And I was just like, man, I'm like, this kind of look eerie similar with the technology of the stealth boat thing. I don't know. I just felt like a lot of sequences were way too long for me than it should. The airport scene was mad long. That sequence was long. I was like, whoa. While it was shot great, but I was like, this is way too long.
That's my thing is like, yeah, it's long, but I like it because it's you're
different.
Right. I like that sort of long, suspenseful build up. Like, and I know it's going to happen in the next movie. Like, that submarine scene in the next one, I love it. And I know a lot of people are like, and I don't even like water. That you already know. I like water in real life. I don't like swimming scenes, but I'm into it. But I could see why people are not. Because if you're trying to get to the next part, you're not going to get there yet. No. You're going to be walking around this airport trying to figure out. Then there's the bomb. He's trying to solve the bomb. So it can work and it cannot work.
Yeah, I just feel like this sequences between, and then you add long action sequences in between. Then you got yourself a recipe of a long ass movie. And I felt like that's what I got with this storyline. While at times I was invested, and then at times I was just like, what are we doing? I felt like this movie should have been 40 minutes out, like cut, and it would have been a great 2-hour movie. Dead Reckoning. If you cut out 40 minutes, I would have been like, this is dope. Like you just snippet here and there. I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. But anyway, with that said, I gave it a 3 overall. Nate, what you got?
All right, overall, so I went back and I looked at what I gave this originally when I saw it at the theater and that is not breaking it down like this for the action movie guy. And not much has changed. I think it's great. I really like this movie a lot. I like it better than, I didn't think I liked it better than Fallout, but now that we've watched them back to back, I like this one better than Fallout, personally. Like, something about it, I like the locations better. I like the Rome thing when they're in Rome and I think it's well shot. So is that. I think Christopher McQuarrie, that was almost like because he also did Rogue Nation. Okay, well, that was more like his test run. But I was going to say, that was more like a test run, but not really because that was his first one. Either way, I gave it a 4.5. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. I don't think it's a 5 out of 5 movie. But I really like it. And I will say this, and we don't always do spoilers. I think now rewatching the next one, I'm not going to like that one. I think this one is the better of the two. I remember when I left the theater for Final Reckoning, I was like, that's really, really, really good. I think I might just think it's regular good on this rewatch. We'll see. Because I was starting to remember stuff and I was like, oh, well, this is cooler. I think this one is better. I gave it a 4.5. I really like it. I think it's good.
Okay. Overall
3.
While you think it's gonna be a 3, but I don't think this is the strongest. While I do like your opinion on it. I'm not too crazy with Fallout either. I felt like that movie was long too, but I thought it was good. Yeah. Now between the two, I kind of like Fallout better because it had Solomon Lane and he fought. Yeah. Where this one, I get it. You have way more action sequences, and to this day, I will always say Ghost Protocol is the best Mission Impossible movie. I think after watching this movie, I think to me, going down the line, I don't think it's ever going to get to that best script. And I think that one had the best script. It had the best comedy between the characters. They introduced new characters in. The Kremlin scene was really good. Jeremy Ratner's character was really good. So I don't know, man. I wasn't too crazy with this one. I'm hoping I like the last one. I only seen the last one once, and that was in the theater. I brought the 4K in Barnes & Nobles. I never opened it. So this is the first time you're rewatching it since the theater. I'm trying to see if I like it. I'm going to like it more than the first one. But to me, I don't feel like this is the strongest one so far. I think Fallout is the strongest one out of the three. But you think this one is the strongest?
Watching them together, you may like it a little more. I remember you really did not like it.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think the last one's good, though. I don't think it's like...
Yeah, I
don't think it's top tier, but I think it's solid.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
Yeah, let's see. We'll find out. But yeah, with that said, Nate, what's the total points?
22.5 out of a 25. I think this movie's awesome. I think this franchise is quite amazing, to be honest with you, that we're 7 movies in, and I'm still giving these things 20 plus scores. You know what I mean? Besides the second one, they're great. This is like a great franchise. So, 22.5 for me.
I give it an 18 out of a 25. Now, don't get me wrong. Not saying it's the worst movie in the planet, but this is one of the best number 7s in a franchise of 7 or more movies.
Right.
It's still quality is still amazing. The stunts are amazing. The acting is still great. To me, the storyline is it's solid. I don't think it's the best of the best, but it's a solid story for number 7, and the characters do progress because they are older agents, and they learn their lessons, not changing the cast, so we don't have another set of agents with Ethan. It's the same old guys that you've been following for the last 3 movies. So besides Jeremy Renner, because he got hurt. So other than that, totally different. You don't even got the Secretary of Defense in this movie. This is the first movie without the Secretary of Defense calling the shots. It's just Ethan Hunt.
She's just a picture on the wall.
She's just a picture in the wall. I don't know. I think she comes back in part 2. I don't remember. Yeah, she does, right?
She was supposed to be in both, but the COVID restrictions, and then once they changed the filming schedule, she was able to make it for them.
I don't understand why they didn't. I mean, between me and you, I don't understand why they didn't just put her on the screen and have her from a screen. They did it.
Why didn't they just have her call in like Skype?
That's what I was saying. That's what I don't get it.
And the funny thing too is, like, when I read about not only did they have to recast Nicholas Hoult, they changed the storyline. The AI thing wasn't always in it. It became part of it. I think I'm sure there was technology stuff, but it became more when they did rewrites. So, you saying they should have thrown the script. This was the second script. It wasn't even the original script. So
I have a feeling because of the whole, I think because of the COVID, they had to do AI so they don't have much people in the movie.
If you notice, think about besides the club scene, there's not always a ton of people all on screen at once.
And even in the club scene, there was not that many people. Because when they show the shots, it was just the actors in that one room. And then they did the fight, and then that's when you saw a little group.
I mean, when you put it that way, it's almost like, wow, it's a miracle that this movie's even good when it was made, when you couldn't even do anything.
That's what I'm trying to allude to. Like, if you really think about the circumstances that were while filming, I'm really shocked that they came away with this type of movie. So you could say what, but I will say this though, in terms of Haley Atwell, right? Atwell, yeah, her. I don't know about you, but just me. She could have been Laura Croft over Sophie, whatever. Because she plays the voice of Lara Croft in the Tomb Raider anime, because I watched it, and she sounds amazing. And when I saw her in this movie, I went, man, my eyes, like her clothes changed, and I thought of Tomb Raider. I went, oh my God, she could have been an amazing Tomb Raider right now. You could give me her as Tomb Raider. She did the voice already, so she knows the character. She does action movies and her own stunts. What wrong can you get? I mean,
and she's gorgeous. I love her.
Yeah, she's fucking.
We've liked her since. We haven't done Captain America yet, but she'll be there.
She's
America. Yeah,
she's very gorgeous. She did some like smirks in the film, and I was like, damn. She's when she got the lighter, she grabbed the lighter. She did that smirk. I was like, holy moly, she's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. Rebecca Ferguson I still love her accent and her blue eyes, or green. Yeah, but anyway, with that said, Nate, what is coming up next on the podcast?
All right, next episode, we'll be wrapping up this franchise with Dead Reckoning Part 2. Nope, just kidding. The Final Reckoning. Mission Impossible. The Final Reckoning. The last Mission Impossible movie. And then, like you mentioned, after that, I won't say yet, but we're going to start getting to the standalone TV shows turned movies. The ones that only had one movie. And we'll get into a bunch of those. But yeah, we'll be wrapping up this franchise.
There you guys have it. You guys enjoyed the podcast. Whether you're listening to us on the go, please leave a ranking or leave some comments on your favorite episodes. We will comment back. Or if you guys are watching us on YouTube, smash that like button on your favorite episodes. Leave comments down below. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you guys are listening to us, go head over to www.geeksandflicks on YouTube or youtube.com/geeksandflicks and then subscribe to the channel for all your action movie guys, MGM stuff, and of course, physical media and our live streams every other Sunday. With that said, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa, and my co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.